Welcome one and all, Love Them Knives channel. Hey, thanks for dropping in today. CJRB Knives. This is the 1902. So I have the 1901, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in my possession right now. And so I'm going to do a separate little video on each one of them. I did a video of all of them combined on a kind of a poorly lit desktop table in my hotel room when I was out visiting my son and his new my new grandbaby, his new son. So there you go. I want to give him a little bit better look and a little bit more attention than that mix and match craziness. And plus, I didn't even have all the names for everything. I didn't have the one that was the 1903, which is the Taiga, Taiga, and also had the wrong name on this one. I called it the Bramble, I think, but it's the Briar. And apparently the name got changed on the Instagram for Artisan Cutlery, because I got the initial name Bramble off of that, and then all of a sudden it's Briar. So here it is, the Briar. Whew! I was in the deep fryer without the Briar, and here this is nice. This reminds me a lot of the Shark, which is an Artisan knife as well. And they do have a line of knives under their name Artisan, and the CJRB, of course, is their budget line, like Civivi is to WE Knives, which is strange because WE Knives had some G10 budget type knives at first, and then they came out with Civivi. Artisan had some budget knives under their name, and then they come out with CJRB. So, didn't know that really needed to happen, but I don't know if it's just a marketing thing, what it is, but it does define this series of knives in that regard. 1902, the Shark. Probably not my favorite design of all five, and I will show all five here at the end of this video. But yes, this is definitely pointy and maybe slicey. I don't know if I call it the most slicey of the five. It's sure got a big old horn here, doesn't it? So it'll keep you from sliding over onto that blade. And the ergos are pretty good. I mean, check it out. It's not getting too severe here, so it's not demanding that your fingers find a particular place. And deep carry pocket clip, right and left hand tip up carry, no back spacer. Here's your standoffs, and then a little middle piece in there to put your lanyard through, since they didn't put a lanyard hole in here otherwise. It's not contoured G10, but it's grippy G10. Comes in different colors. You can get it on White Mountain Knives, and I will give you the link to CJRB, and then you can page through all the different knives, and they're anywhere from $39.99 to $43.99, depending on if they're the carbon fiber laminate stuff like the Taiga is, or they all come in that as an option, or the G10. I prefer the G10. It's more grippy, and I think just looks better overall. They're a liner lock. There's your lockup, about 40% there. That's pretty solid. And they have ceramic bearings, and I will show you. I didn't take this one apart, but I did take the Krag apart. This one here, this kind of cleaverish looking. And then I also took the Centros apart, and they both look the same inside. They both have the same ceramic bearings. And then, oh, there's my other, hold on, let me pull the other page for you. So now, I didn't show that word. Oh, okay. Well, you can see the liners. I didn't pull the liners away from the outer scales. I could have on this one, except the pocket clip was coming through, so I didn't unscrew it. That detent ball is ceramic as well, okay? And they have a D-shaped pivot, which is nice, which means that you don't have the pivot spinning if you get too much Loctite in one side, which just don't do to begin with. And here's a closer look at the D-shaped pivot and the ceramic, bearings. So, yes, a $39 shooter with ceramic bearings, ceramic detent, D-shaped pivot. No, they didn't put backspacer on it. And no, they didn't skeletonize the scales. But it's a stonewash D2 blade, and if it's anything like the Artisan budget knives that came before this, I did have a couple of those D2 knives tested, and the HRC, the Rockwell, was really hard on them. It was like 62, 61, 62, 63. It was really high, and you can check. I always have the link to that spreadsheet, so you can go in, you know, at the top of the thing, it goes alphabetically, be Artisan knives. You can check that out and see what those Rockwells are, because I don't know for sure right off the top of my head. I know they were in that area. Right or left hand deep carry pocket clip, not a terribly heavy knife. And I guess maybe that was the point of, you know, saving the money and not going through the extra step of skeletonizing the scales. 108 grams, roll it around 2 ounces, and we got 3.8 ounces. So, no, it's not a terribly heavy knife, but it's probably a 3.5, 8.25 overall type knife. So, it's a full-size EDC. And no, it's more like 3 3/4, isn't it? So this is more like a 95 millimeter and 8 3/8 overall, which is about 21.5 centimeters. So this, I think this one may be the biggest of the 5 that I have, because I think I was sitting there measuring them all, and it was, everything was like 3.5, 8.25, 3.5, 8.25. So this is like 3 5/8, 3.7 inch blade, you know, 8 3/8 overall. So probably the biggest of those 5. 0.52 inch thickness on this handle and 13.4 millimeters. And I'd say 3 millimeter blade, and yes, I could, because that's what it is, 0.12. So far, all the blades have been 3 millimeter, and the handles are in the 0.5 something, 0.52, 3, somewhere range like that. So, yes, like I said, ergos are good. There's where it's balanced. Kind of back a ways, isn't it? The back of that finger choil right there. Come on, baby, hold on. Might have to get right there at that tip. So it is kind of far back as far as the balance goes. And that flipper tab, I don't know, just seems a lot. I think it could have been less distance front to back, and it could have been a lot lower. It could have been canted forward. So, because that seems like a whole lot of flipper tab when they narrow the height of this blade like that. Now, you know, each one for their own, you know. I mean, there's a lot of custom or mid-tech knives that I think have a flipper tab that's a little bit obtuse as well. So that's an individual thing. And there you go, machined pivot. So that's nice, and you can access it both ways, although there's just a screw on one side and that one piece cap and pivot tube on the other, and it may be on either side, you know. So keep that in mind when you go to disassemble it. There's your screws, kind of a button head type screw, and those are number 6s with your little lanyard thing. You know, it has a little place to pop in those steel liners to hold it. But I think you can go ahead and you can rotate this if you want. Yeah, real easy. It'll rotate. So however you need to do that. And yeah, I mean, with the bearings and everything, they can drop really nice. Some of these were a little tight, and I haven't adjusted the pivots on them. But really, I haven't touched this one. It was just the crag and the centros that I took apart. But it's centered, no lock rock, no blade play. Yeah, and I don't know. Do we want to know if it'll be a knife? Yeah, it'll be a knife too. Yeah, it's pretty sharp right out of the box. Come in a just very plain type of box. Nothing fancy there. Nothing fancy. And there's the centros. And I think that's the 05 or the 04. 05, yeah, that's the number 5 of them. This is the number 2. Here's the number 1, which is 1901, which is the Tala. This is the 03, which is the Taiga, T-A-I-G-A, and here's the Krag. The Krag. So, bunches of knives in here, trying to get them all in, and I'm going to bid you farewell. But CJRB coming on. New designs I see coming out soon. So take your pick, at least, you know, in the 30. I mean, this is going to be under 40 delivered with the discount on White Mountain. So that's pretty dang affordable. And, you know, they look like good little worker bees. Take care, my friends. You know what we do. We love them knives, so you guys stay sharp.